Welcome to our video lesson on variables and on algebraic expressions. I'm really excited for this lesson because it's a really cool topic in math that I'm excited for you to learn. So the first part you have to understand is what a variable is. Now a variable, you've seen them before. They're letters, or it's actually meant to be a symbol, but they're usually letters that can represent one or more numbers. So what it means is you could put any number in or a certain numbers in for that letter. For example, in my expressions down here, this is a variable, the n is, because this n could be 7, or it could be 21, or it could be 1,000. Just depending on the situation and what we need that n to be, it could be different numbers. 5, this d is also a variable. Now here, it just says 5d. There's no operation symbol or anything like that. This really means 5 times d. When we're writing variables, if there's no symbol in between, it means times. The next one, 7b minus 1. So our variable is the b, and this would mean 7 times b minus 1. The last one, 12x minus 3, 12x divided by 3. X is often used as a variable. It's a really common one we'll see. And this is why we've stopped using that time sign as the x, and we've started using the dot. It's typical of us math teachers to change our minds and make you do a new thing. But the reason you didn't use the dot before is so you didn't confuse it with a decimal point when you were learning about decimals. So instead of this x meaning times, it now stands for a variable. So these are all variables. Okay, let's talk about what some other key terms we're going to need to know are. Down here, we're going to start with this big thing. Let's start with what we know. We just learned that, let me change my color here, that the x is a variable. So I'm going to underline this x here, and it is called a variable. Okay, so we already know that, and we know that that x could stand for lots of different numbers. The next thing you need to know is what the first part of the equation is called. I'm going to change my color so you can see it. This part right here is an expression. An expression. It's something that has both variables and numbers in it and operation symbols, but it doesn't have an equal sign. So only the 33 plus x is our expression. The whole thing with our equal sign, this whole thing here, is called an equation. So if someone's talking about equation, it has an equal sign in it. And you can remember that because equation starts with EQA, and so does equals. So our equations have our equal signs in them. One more thing that is going to help you later on to know is that each part, each separate thing separated by operation symbols inside an expression or an equation is a term. So here, this 33 and the x, these are both terms because they're separated by operation symbols. Okay, take some time to draw this in your notebook and make sure it's pretty. It'll help you remember it better for the future. Now what you're going to do is break a table in the bottom of your note, and you're going to fill in the definition for each of these: equation, expression, term, and variable. You may need to look them up online. Use your resources that you have. Your textbook's a good one. It has the glossary in the back to look up and write down the definition of each of those key terms. That's all for now. We'll come back to this topic and explore a little more about it later. I'll talk to you later.